I'm Elizabeth, and I'm co-hosting with Aaron. So we are going to be talking about movies you need to watch before you die.
We are going to be talking about a lot of different genres: musical, action, animated comedy, and a little bit of horror. All of them we think are the best movies that we have seen and think you should watch.
We're going to be talking about Grease, Breakfast Club, Anastasia, Forrest Gump, a few James Bond movies with Daniel Craig, The Great Gatsby, Interstellar, and Jaws.
First off, Grease, directed by Randall Kleiser. This is my favorite movie of all time. It's a classic and everyone should see it.
AKA Aaron's obsession.
Yeah, well,
That's my opinion!
there was so many things that went into this movie that wasn't planned on, and yet it was a hit and created the classics we know today.
It has won 2 movie awards, the People's Choice for Favorite Movie and the People's Choice Award for Favorite Musical Motion Picture, both in 1979. It was also the 3rd most highest grossing movie behind Jaws and Star Wars: A New Hope for a while.
What makes this movie so great is the time period it sets in and the history you need to know to really understand their love story. It was set in 1958, and back then the Greasers, Danny Zuko and his group of friends, were the poor people in the town, and they usually didn't attend the same schools as the rich kid like Sandy, and they definitely didn't socialize. In this movie, they had to go through breaking the society's norms, which
That's
my opinion, made a great movie.
The whole reality of Greasers and Socks, also known as the upper class in society, can be seen in the book and movie The Outsiders, which is also a good movie, but not one that we're going to be talking about today.
That's because Grease is better.
Yeah, okay. The original Grease was so popular that they decided to redo it again this past year live. And they even brought back some characters from the original movie to be in the live version.
They brought back Dee Dee Conn, who was Frenchie in the original, and she played Vi the waitress, and they brought back Barry Pearl, who played Duty, one of the T-Birds for those who haven't seen it yet, who in the live made an appearance.
Because they eventually casted Olivia Newton-John as the role of Sandy, they had to change the original play around to suit her.
Because Olivia Newton-John was not from America, they had to change the original Sandy from being from a small town to being from Australia, and they added in the ballad Hopelessly Devoted to You because Olivia Newton-John was so famous for her singing.
The movie wasn't the only thing that was an instant sensation. The soundtrack was too.
It actually spiked to more than 100,000 copies.
That's my opinion!
Is a lot for a movie soundtrack disc.
She owns one, seriously.
I do, I'm not denying it.
Okay, moving on before Aaron starts ranting about Grease again. So the next movie we are going to talk about is The Breakfast Club.
This movie won the MTV Movie Silver Bucket of Excellence Award. Fun fact, it was one of the first movies to be rated PG-13.
What's so great about this movie is that it's still relatable after 30 plus years.
The movie stars 5 very different characters, and they are all thrown in together during a Saturday detention. It shows the different groups of people that we see in high school: the nerds, the athletes, the Mr. popularities, the outcasts, and the criminals.
The Breakfast Club teaches us that we are all alike and share some of the same attributes, even though we might not think we do based on appearance.
It teaches us to look past the stereotypes and actually get to know the person before you start labeling them.
Not only did the movie have a good message, it also started the careers of a group of actors labeled the Brat Pack.
Among these actors are Claire Standish and Judd Nelson. Director John Hughes helped get these actors into movies like 16 Candles and Pretty in Pink, which kicked off their careers.
John Hughes began writing the teen-oriented films in the 1980s, which gave him his name in the movie business. He went on to write Ferris Bueller's Day Off and the Home Alone series.
I think it's safe to say that this guy was a legend.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, so the next movie we are going to talk about is Anastasia. It's a great animated movie, and it has a ton of history in it, although most of it is inaccurate.
Despite some historical errors, it is a good movie because it's based on the general history, which gets kids excited in the past and causes them to learn about something that actually happened.
The family was the same in all the other characters, but the story, how it happened, is different. Anastasia wasn't lost in the chaos, and she wasn't little like in the movie. She was 16 when the Reds attacked, and the family wasn't even in the palace. They were under house arrest at one of their other palaces. Also, everyone in the family got murdered, and they couldn't find Anastasia's body, hence the mystery of where she went, which is where the movie makers got their idea for the movie.
Another aspect that is cool about this movie is that they even incorporated the girls who were trying to pretend to be Anastasia into the story plot.
It also won the BFCA Critics' Choice Award for Best Family Film.
Another good movie you should watch before you die is Forrest Gump, which won Academy Awards for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director, and the People's Choice Award for Favorite Movie. It also won multiple Golden Globe Awards and many more recognitions, coming to a grand total of 12 awards.
Obviously, it has to be good if it won that many awards.
Oh yeah. This encouraging movie shows that we have the potential to do anything we dream of.
If you can dream it, you can do it.
Many people don't realize that this movie was actually a book first.
Oh really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Forrest Gump's character depicted in the book was very different than the one that was depicted in the movie. Apparently in the book, Forrest goes on to travel in space, smoke weed, meet some cannibals, and run for the U.S. Senate.
That definitely did not happen in the movie. Another fun fact about this film is that only American bands are previewed.
Despite how crazy the thought of running across America seems in the movie, there was actually have been several people to run across the country.
That's crazy. Kudos to them because I know I could never do that.
Oh yeah, me neither, girl.
The next two movies we are going to be talking about are a few of the James Bond movies starring Daniel Craig.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Okay,
The Skyfall movie won 12 awards and brought in $1 billion.
that's a lot of dough.
Yeah, it is. It was the highest grossing James Bond movie of all time.
The newest one, Spectre, brought in a lot of attention because people thought it was going to be Daniel Craig's last James Bond movie.
It won 2 awards, the Empire Award for Best Thriller and Empire Award for Best British Film.
The Daniel Craig movies
That's my opinion!
is one of the better James Bond movies. I mean, there are really good James Bond movies, but Craig is our generation's Bond, so of course we have to give him a shout out.
The James Bond movies now are more realistic in that they deal with the more modern issues that our government faces. The films shot before are more imaginative than the ones that come up now.
Movies like Skyfall and Spectre deal with the terrorism and hacking aspect of the terrors we face today, making it more realistic and concerning for the audience.
The audience starts to think that the stuff like this could happen and become more aware.
That's what makes the Bond films so great. They get you thinking.
Next, we are going to talk about The Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby won many Academy Awards. It won for Best Costume Design and Best Product Design. It also won the BAFTA Award for Best Product Design, the AACTA Award for Best Product Design, Best Lead Actor, Best Director, Best Film, Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Editing, and Best Cinematography. What made this movie so great, other than all the awards it won, is the time period it was in. All the excitement at the end of the First World War and a change in the era and new technology displaced in the movie helped the watchers to understand the time period and feel more connected to it through the emotional excitement. Not only was there new technology, women began to work in actual jobs rather than at home. There was also an influx of immigrants into the cities during this time. With all the new aspects of life, it was an interesting time to set the books and movie to it because it was a rapidly changing time and most people alive didn't live through it, and most find it fascinating how people lived back then. Next we are going to be talking about is Interstellar. This movie is easily the best scientific / space movie I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, definitely. The loops that this movie takes keeps its audience on its toes until the very end.
Even after the movie, we are left thinking about how amazing and immense our universe is.
This movie has won a total of 6 awards for its visual effects and directing.
The way this movie portrays time is mind-boggling. Honestly, even after seeing the movie 3 times, I still don't fully understand the scene behind this movie.
The craziest part is that the idea of us traveling through a wormhole and discovering another universe isn't all that far-fetched.
Exactly. It's pretty insane to think that this could happen someday. In addition to the crazy awesome science in this movie, Matthew McConaughey's acting makes it a really touching film.
Oh yeah, he definitely grabs the audience attention by bringing in the whole aspect of the struggling yet loving family and him being hot.
One of the most touching scenes in the movie for me is when his character, Cooper, comes back to the spaceship from Miller Planet and realizes that 7 years have passed. He comes back and watches as his son grows up and starts a family of his own through a computer in a whole nother universe.
It's especially hard to watch when his daughter, Murph, comes on and says that she is now the exact age he was when he left Earth.
This family love is what pulls at the audience's heart and makes them able to connect with the characters in the movie. While we watch Matthew McConaughey's character sit in the chair of the spaceship and cry as he watches his kid's life through a computer screen, we too feel as if we have missed out on the memories that he has.
That is why this movie has such high ratings.
Next, we're going to be talking about Jaws. And why it is on the list of movies you need to watch before you die.
Jaws won many Academy Awards, such as the Best Original Music Score, Best Film Editing, Best Original Score, Best Sound Mixing, the Best Choice Award for Favorite Movies, and BAFTA Award for Best Film Music.
It's a classic movie. They have made 3 sequels and some knockoffs in addition to the original movie. It was originally not going to be the most popular movie of the summer for the movie company. The company actually thought it was going to be The Hindenburg.
The movie Jaws had a ton of technological advancements. They were used to make it so fascinating for that generation, especially when the shark seen in the movie being one of the first animatronic creatures used in the movie business.
The shark was a major tech advancement, and it spurred the use of animatronics in The Gremlins, E.T., and Jurassic Park.
Bob Matty and the director Joe Alves were determined to make the shark as real looking as possible. They used chopped up walnuts, sand, and dust in the paint to make the shark's skin look like that of a real shark. They made the body of the shark out of plywood. They actually made 3 different sharks, all with different names, which is kind of cool.
The sharks were known to break often, so the director had to improvise with the filming because they couldn't stop every time it broke. This led them to show the shark less, like in the scene where they shoot the shark with yellow barrels. You couldn't see the shark, but you knew it was there, which caused a lot of suspense through the movie by not seeing it all the time. It created the whole fear of the unknown deal.
The director originally wanted to see the shark more than what was shown in the movie, but since it broke so often, he had to improvise, turning Jaws into the movie we know today, which I think, seeing the shark less, made the movie better and more of a mystery horror instead of just a horror.
It could have been luck that the shark's habit of breaking so often made the movie so great. All I know is that it's a great movie and everyone should see it.
So that's some of the movies we think that you need to watch before you die, and I hope you watch them.